Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Munce Report as we head into a busy Easter weekend. It's been a busy week for the man next to me, winners, some big names stepping out at the trials and the winter carnival's upon us. How good?
Very good. No, it's nice now. The night's cooling off a little bit and the morning's just starting to get a bit fresher. So the horses are starting to get a bit bouncy. So that's when you know winter's upon us.
Yeah, very good. Well, there's a couple of stakes races coming up this weekend, which the stable's engaged in. We've also got a special Meet the Team to talk about. We'll do a recap of all the performers from this week's trials, as well as a big Easter weekend preview. It was a big day for the team at Doomben on Wednesday, and reliable Ruby, she left it right to the last stride to make her presence felt in the race and a great win.
Was a good win, Adam. Yeah, it had been a bit of a frustrating morning up until then. We'd had three previous runners for 2/3 and an unplaced horse, but thankfully Ruby got the job done for Blake Armstrong and strong bloodstock and was able to win.
Yeah, a bit of theatre there. She sort of kept everyone guessing right until the last minute. And I also took note of Juliet Partridge, the strapper who we introduced in the Meet the Team a few weeks back. She was quite emotional, which sounds a bit funny. It was a midweek meeting at Doomben. She's been around for quite a while, so there's a bit of a backstory there. She's worked closely with this horse.
Yeah, well, Ruby, she's always been a little bit fragile. She suffers from quite chronic back soreness and everything else. So Juliet's been putting a lot of time into her and keeping her free and limber, and it all paid off yesterday. The 1% has certainly paid off.
Yeah, there might have been a little lump in the throat and a little teary eyes there. But
I think she did get a little bit emotional, but anyway, that's good. That's what it's all about. And it was, when they put in all the hard yards, it's good to see him reap the rewards.
Great to see, and we also got some great footage from Chloe Bennett here of the owners chatting to Juliet post-race, and great for the owners to see that as well. Obviously the staff here do get very attached to the animals, and it means a lot.
It does, my word. No, when they work hard and long hours, it's good to get rewards.
For sure. Well, there's a couple of other notable performances as well. Valley of Dreams, we've mentioned her a few times on the show. She went down swinging again. That's now from her last 6 starts, she's had a win and 5 placings, so she's always there.
She is, and you can't be critical of her. I mean, she puts in every time she goes to the races, and yesterday was another good performance. She was pretty much in front everywhere bar the line. She just got nutted, but the margin was ever so narrow. But she pulled up well, so we'll just fight another race for her, and I'm sure that there's a well-deserved win in her not too far away.
Yep, she certainly does. And Delight was also another good performer, had a long time off the scene. She's the half-sister to Skate to Paris, and she ran 3rd.
Went a very good race. It was a good form race. There was a lot of speed. They run fast time, and as you said, she hadn't run for something like 12 months or more, and Michael Murphy gave her a nice ride just behind the speed, just run into 1 too good on the day. So she'll take a lot of improvement from that, and I think that there's a win in her not too far away.
Very good. And then also over the weekend, Better Rush made her return to the races and ran 3rd at the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, well, no, she raced really well, Better Rush. She was first up with a big weight, and she was probably forced into not the best part of the track, but overall it was a terrific run, and she's only got to improve off it. Yeah,
well, very good. Well, lots of performers over the past week, so the theme continues, firing on all cylinders. Okay, as we mentioned, it was a busy morning of trials at Doomben on Tuesday, 18, 19 horses stepping out. Can't touch on all of them, but there were some strong performances across the board. Some big names stepped out, so let's go through them. Stampy, he returned in a hot trial behind Rothfire, finishing 4th.
Yeah, it was a good trial. He wasn't let off the bit, was just having a day out to stretch his legs. He'll run this Saturday at Eagle Farm. It has drawn poorly, but he needs to go to the races to start to get him tuned up for a few of the other stronger races over the winter, but I thought his trial on Tuesday was very good.
Okay, Rhapsody Rose and Boom Nova were also impressive in their 840 metre heat.
They both went well. Rhapsody Rose had Luke Tarrant on board on Tuesday, a new jockey for her, and I've got to say I think I was pretty pleased with the way she raced. She actually sat back off a hot speed and made up good ground late in, as you said, a pretty fast heat. So overall, I couldn't be disappointed at all with her trial. She was good. Boom Nova I thought went very well. Probably still, she's a bit pretty at the moment. She probably still needs another good hard gallop under her belt before we go to the races, but overall I wasn't disappointed with her performance.
Okay, Centerfire was strong in her heat, sort of finishing on the rails.
Given a very easy time, she'll probably go to the races now. She's had 2 trials, or jump out in a trial under her belt, so I think she's forward enough to go to the races.
Okay, Pelisipan and Vital Source stepped out in the same heat and were also impressive.
Very good, yeah. Pelisipan's probably in a little bit of a similar mould to Boom Nova. Hasn't been screwed down yet, but she was still making good ground late for Boris Thornton. So she'll improve a lot from that fitness wise, as will Vital Source. She was starting to make good ground there late in fast heat.
Okay, and then the 2-year-old stepped out. Brookhaven impressed in the 2-year-old heats. He's a 2-year-old gelding by Spieth.
Yeah, well, he really surprised me. I'd said to the owners before the trial not to expect a lot because I haven't done hardly anything with him, and he's a big, long striding sort of lightly framed horse. So, as I said to the owners, not to expect a lot in his trial, but he surprised me pleasantly with the way he jumped and ran and did everything right in the trial and really balanced up and hit the line strong. So I think he could be quite a promising horse.
Okay, promising, and he's also got a couple of hidden talents around the stable. Talk us through what he tends to do.
Well, he's a Houdini. He's got to be under lock and key here of a night time because he gets out and gives himself a pick on the grass. So he's a nice horse. He's probably too smart for his own good.
So he just picks the lock and helps himself to a bit of grass.
He does. So we've got to make sure the gates are always shut around him.
Well, he's very talented. And speaking of talented, another 2-year-old who impressed was Holterman. Won his heat. He's a 2-year-old gelding out of a mare that yourself and Kathy know very well, Winning Fashions.
Yeah, well, we bred this colt. He's by Saboog, and he's done nothing but grow and improve as he's got older. So I think time has been his friend with this horse. He's just got bigger and stronger, and you can see on Tuesday he's still learning how to gallop, but I think he's a horse with good ability.
Okay, well, there you go. Plenty of runners to follow and some exciting times ahead heading into the Winter Carnival. Okay, welcome to another episode of Meet the Team, and today we're introducing you to Tilly Gatsby, one of the newer members of the Munce Racing team, been involved over the last 12 months. And welcome to the show, Tilly. Tell us a little bit about your background in racing, and did you come from a racing family?
No, actually, my mum's a hairdresser and my dad's a truck driver, so it was nothing to do with horses. So it was, I think my parents thought the horse phase would blow out, but it kind of didn't. So I've worked at riding schools, and then I kind of just worked my way up to racing from there. So.
Okay, and what about the moment that you found racing, or your love or passion for horses?
One of my friends had 2 ex-race horses, and she used to be a stable hand, and she kind of said to me, "Hey, give it a go," and I was like, "Okay." So, yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go. If I didn't like it, I didn't like it, but I ended up liking it, so I stayed. Very
good. Well, Chris, Tilly's been involved for just under 12 months, I think you said, Tilly. So what's the male? How's she going so far?
She's going really well, Adam. Yeah, no, she sort of fitted in really well right from the get-go. It was she was just one of these sort of girls that just turns up, loves the horses, obviously, and I mean you have to really love the horses to get up at the hours we do and every morning. But no, Tilly does a good job. She's got her favourites, as most of them do, and they get a bit of extra TLC along the way, but they're allowed to do that.
Let's settle on your favourites. Who are your favourites in the stable at the moment? Who gets that little bit of extra TLC, as Chris mentioned?
Obviously Southern Stock. He's got to be the favourite. But the little Vista Belle, she's taken a little bit of a sweet spot also at the moment, so they get a little bit extra love and attention.
Okay, and why is that? Why is obviously we know Southern Stock, his form on the track, but as far as their personalities, what do you love about both of those horses?
Well, I actually took Southern Stock to one of his races last prep, and I just fell in love with him. He's just so easy, he's quirky, and yeah, and then obviously he races well, so that gets a little bit exciting also, but yeah, he's just a good horse. Just easy, loves affection, and I guess I'm happy to give that back.
Very good. Well, yeah, it is important to let owners know how much some of the staff do love the horses, because obviously you get up in the early hours of the morning and you work 7 days a week. So it's obviously you do it for the love.
Yeah. Well, he came back Monday or Tuesday, something like that. As soon as I got here, that was the first stable I went to. Had to go see him. So, yeah, he's a bit special.
Very good. Well, and the other aspect, so you're a stable hand here at Munce Racing. You don't do track work as such, but you do ride the horses out at the beach.
Yeah, occasionally. So that's a little bit of fun. I rode a Lude the other day. I've ridden a couple of them, and they absolutely love it. like they just relax. They like Stampy the other day. He was a little bit funny down there. He just loves it. He just didn't want to. He just wanted to turn back and go back out. He doesn't want to go home. He's like, I just stay in the water. So, but yeah, it's a little bit of fun, a little bit different. So.
Yeah, very good. Well, sounds like Tilly's settled in really well to the Munce Racing stable here, and we'll bring you more Meet the Teams in the coming weeks and months. Okay, well, it's an exciting weekend of racing over the Easter period. You've got 2 runners engaged in stakes races as the Winter Carnival unofficially kicks off, I guess. Elude is drawn nicely in the cutest 2-year-old handicap. He was 3rd in the Aquis Gold Nugget prior to the Magic Millions, and that's pretty good form, you'd think, for this.
Yeah, it was a good run, very good run in a hot race. And this previous start before that, he ran 5th behind Coolangatta in the BJ as well, his first start in the race. So I think he's a nice horse. Would have liked to have just found a nice maiden for him, but he drew poorly at the Gold Coast. I'll be talking to the owners later on, but I think we'll probably be running him in town at this stage. He's drawn well. Mark Duplessis rides him, and he was happy with his gallop on Tuesday morning. So, I'd expect him to race quite competitively. Okay,
well, he's one to look out for the BK Racing and breeding team there. The first of the stakes runners, Majestic's Request, contests the listed Daybreak Lover over the 1400 after back-to-back wins, and we touched on him last week as far as he's earned his shot at the big league.
Yeah, well, look, he's going to be big odds, but I'm not too concerned about that. I think the horse is in very good form. He won the other day, as I spoke about last week, with a big weight on his back, up in grade, and did it quite well over a mile. He's very fit, the horse. So, look, as I said, I'm under no illusion it's a hard race, and he's got a big class rise to try and contend with. But he just keeps improving every time. So we'll give him his chance. We can always come back to a Class 2 later on. But he's only 3-1, so we might as well give him a shot at it and see how he performs.
Very good. Well, good to see those colours in another big race, as has been a custom. Stampy takes on the likes of Zoo Style in the listed Ascot quality over the 1,000. And you mentioned him. He trialled obviously on Tuesday, had a quiet morning. And do you think he'll need the run here over the shorter 1,000 metres?
Oh, look, if he'd have drawn a barrier, I would have said no. I would have thought that he was going to be very competitive. The trial on Tuesday's brought him on nicely, but the fact he's drawn poorly probably leaves us with no choice but to have to ride him quiet. And as we spoke about, when you draw wide at the 1,000 metres, you're pushing the proverbial uphill. So he'll probably have to go back, I would suggest, and just Sean's going to have to ride for luck, I think. But if he did happen to get the right sort of run in transit, he could certainly be a blowout chance for sure. But he's going to need a good ride and a bit of luck in running.
Okay, and the rest of his prep, obviously Winter Carnival's here, and have you mapped it out for him yet?
Oh, look, he'll probably go to the Victory Stakes next start before heading to the Gold Coast for the ATC Cup. They'll probably be his main 3 races to start off with, and then we'll just assess how he's going after that. I mean, he's got plenty of options available to him, so we'll just see how he's racing at that point.
Very good. Well, excited to see the champ back, Stampy. And then it's also a big week for the connections, Phil Gutsky and Mel Schumacher, because you've also got Our Gallant Dancer running at the Gold Coast on Saturday. Yeah, well, he's second emergency, but if he gets a run there, he will go around at the Gold Coast. He's drawn nicely and just put a line through his first up run. He hadn't had a second trial, and they changed the race from 800 metres to 1,000 metres on a heavy track, which probably brought him unstuck. So, look, he's come through it well. He's drawn nicely on Saturday, and I'm sure that Luke Dickman will give him a good ride, and I'd like to hope, race very well for us. Okay, sounds like he might be worth following. And then the final runner is Tiptoes, who lines up in a maiden handicap over the 1,200. Yeah, well, she's drawn a bit better this week, so she'll probably race a bit more prominently in the run. And I'll be just instructing Michael Murphy to let her travel where she's comfortable and save her for one run. She seems to have a short, sharp dash on her, but if the race pans out the way that I'm hoping, she should be able to be right there in the finish. Well, there you go. They're the runners, mate. Exciting heading into some big races. Yeah, it is. It's good to get the good horses back and going, and hopefully we can get a bit of luck over the winter. Very good. Well, good luck to yourself and everyone over the weekend.